Yeah.
Marco here.
Oh, good. I'll be right down.
Okay.
Every morning, as you guys may have seen, I tend to look at what comes in. But when downstairs calls you and tells you Malka is here, i.e. an armored shipping service, that means we got something really expensive and really special.
You like this, Ian? So my birthday's coming up, and this is what my dad got me. I'm gonna be a musketeer now. Should I take this down there? Hi, shipping. Anybody up for a duel? I'm gonna be the one musketeer today. Michael, you ready for a duel?
Yes.
Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Very nice, very nice. You know how, hey, put that thing back. I'm not so confident you know how to use that thing. There were 2 packages, right?
Yes, this one. Does this cost 1 million? That Patek Philippe?
Yes.
And
You ready for this? That killed the whole, that killed the whole climate. 5207, minute repeater, tourbillon, perpetual calendar. 100 bricks is just fetched 1.3 and change $1 million in auction. Oh baby, love that. So this is actually pretty rare. They only made 25 of these in yellow gold. Let me wind this sucker. I love some of the, out of all the independents, I mean MB&F just kills it. I love this watch. All right, Eli, I'm gonna take these upstairs when I'll get them in the system. I'm gonna show this to Adrian. I got goodies.
No Richard Mille.
I knew you were gonna ask that. How about it's something better than a Richard Mille? You ready? Oh, that killed the climax again. I did it again, Ian.
Depends what Richard Mille.
But I will take this over Richard Mille all day, every day.
Depends what Richard Mille.
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to see Anna. I was expecting you to do a backflip. Anna,
You're a nice guy. Oh my god.
this is insane. They only made 25 of them in yellow.
This is cool.
Are you ready? Hold on. Let's see how excited she gets. Are you ready? This excitement.
It's sideways.
So much for the grand reveal, 3 times over.
It's cute.
Really? It's cute?
She picks up $1 million watch and says, it's cute.
It looks the same dial.
There's about $1 million difference between the two. But it's cute. Okay, thanks, Anna. There's gonna be 2 of us Friday. And the theme is like you watches. I say we show that, and I got a vintage piece coming tomorrow too. That's just insane. I show him this thing. He's like, well, it depends on which Richard Mille.
A Richard Mille tourbillon is not a watch?
Yeah.
Every single time you need to go find one, it's like this.
Let me ask you a question. This or $1 million RM? What do you take?
I told you, depends.
No, what do you take?
$1 million RM?
Yeah, same price, right?
I take this.
All day.
Yeah,
Go try to sell that back later.
I know.
Go.
We'll talk about that on the live on Friday. Let me WhatsApp you on this.
Everybody loves talking about the grind. Everybody loves talking about what it takes to make it in a business. This is not a story of someone trying to make it. We already made it. We're a $100 million company a year. We've already built a brand and a status within the industry, but that doesn't mean that we're done. Not only am I going to show you some of the behind the scenes, I'm also going to show you what it takes to run a $100 million company a year and take it to a $300 million company a year. It's really hard to keep a $100 million beast afloat, and it's even harder to take it to the next level. So stay tuned, and welcome to Gray Market. Another week at the office. Business is good. We're meeting a lot of our goals. Came a little bit short of our monthly profit goals, but nevertheless had a kick-ass month. Could I tell you I didn't get into this business for the money? I'd be lying. Everybody gets into some sort of a business to be successful, which translates into making money. But my success comes not from the money that we make, but the relationships that we create over the years. Having done this for 19 years, I have met so many wonderful people from across all walks of life and places on earth. It's really the clients that drive my business. It's really my relationship with my clients that make me successful.
I'm interested in a 5980 or a 90, and I'm looking to replace my watches with at least 2 or 3 really nice watches that I will wear. So I don't wear any of these watches, so they sit there in a vault, and I don't use them. So
this client bought a watch from me probably 15 years ago. And 15 years later, I made a good enough impression on him to come back and do business with me. A lot of clients right now find themselves with these huge collections that have collected over the years. A lot of the market prices have gone up through the roof, and some of their watches they bought pennies on a dollar in comparison to today's market prices. So it's always a good time to cash out, or in this case, trade up and get something they really, really want.
The 5980 has been around much longer. It's been more of a staple. The 5990 is more of a newcomer. The thought process I always have with these, and you remember, keep in mind, I never say these things are investments, right? I always say, they're expensive toy. But the thought process is that with the 5980 being around for quite some time, we're not too far off of that thing hopefully being discontinued soon. The minute it gets discontinued, that's when prices shoot through the roof, and the 5990 is going to be that other Nautilus that's going to stick around for quite a while. So if I had to choose between the two, I would go with the 5980. And aesthetically, honestly, the dial on the 5990 to me is a bit busier than the 5980, and that's just again my personal opinion.
And does the 5980 black dial bring more than the 5980 blue dial? Is there one that's preferred?
Again, going back to what I said originally, my advice is to go with the blue dial. That's the very first one that they made, and I think that's going to be the very first one to go. To me, the blue steel combination works better, I guess, aesthetically, simply because of the originality of the Nautilus, the original blue dial. I always tend to go with the original, the first one, right? And the first one was the blue dial. That's just why I'm still leaning towards the blue dial. But again, I always tell people, buy what you like. It doesn't matter what I think.
You guys have heard me say it time in and time out. Buy what you like first and foremost. But that doesn't mean I won't give you my opinion. But note how I always stress out, this is my opinion. Take that out of the equation and really think about what you like.
On the 5980 or any watch that I buy, I'm kind of particular about, the condition. So,
of course. One of the things that I never do is I never sell a watch that's pre-owned that's not retail ready. And by retail ready would do one of a few things. First of all, we have the watch checked and serviced. Meaning that if there's any type of issues, timing issues, waterproof issues, anything like that. And because I warranty everything that I sell. So if I'm going to give you a 3-year warranty, I don't want it coming back in half a year saying, oh, the hands fell off, or the watch is not running properly. And nor will you ever see watches with gashes or heavy scratches or things of that nature. I do make a judgment call in regards to refinishing watches based on the condition that I receive them in, which means that if a watch is to a point where it's just not attractive, I will have the watch completely refinished and made new.
So what does the market say about refinishing, polishing?
There's a lot of mixed emotions, and a lot of guys tend to be like, oh my God, I don't want this watch polished, and this, that, and the other. The problem is that it's because 7 out of 10 times people that get their stuff refinished outside of the factory refinish, they have a bad experience. Fortunately for me, I have enough watchmakers with whom I work with for years that I can identify as, oh, you know what, this is my guy for AP, this is my guy for Paddocks. And they're able to do a job where you look at the watch, you're like, oh wow, this is great. Believe me, I went through my trials and tribulations with watchmakers that have ruined plenty of watches that I had to get redone. But after 18 years, I got that covered, let's just say.
You have no idea how many mangled watches I have seen that have come pre-owned, where guys would take them to their watchmaker, whoever he or she may be, and the watches literally get mangled. Guys, take some advice from me. Ask for samples of jobs that they have done. Get referrals and talk to people, because there's so many hacks out there that will just do whatever, charge you a few $100s to fix up your watch, and they'll simply make it worse.
Okay, so let's do what you said. If you revise the spreadsheet, and then I definitely would like you to look for a 5980 for me, black.
The 5980 black is not an issue. I'll have one found today. I'll get a concrete piece with a concrete price.
Concrete piece with a concrete price.
I thought we were in the watch business. Since when do we sell concrete? What the f*** are you talking about, Roman?
And let's make a decision sometime this week, and then we can get this going.
Yep, very good.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, you, Roman.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Next deal.
There are different types of clients. Then there are my friends, my local friends, guys who I grew up with. And this next guy who I trolled a little bit, he's a very good friend of mine. You'll be able to tell that by the way I spoke with him. But this is a guy, the type of customer that knows everything. And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. All you guys out there having their own businesses. You always have that one client that thinks he knows everything and ends up making a mistake.
Yeah.
You know what I love the most about certain clients, your type of clients, is they think they think they know everything. They go out and they buy some bullshit and then I have to clean up the mess. What kind of strap did you buy for your Royal Oak? Tell me.
Oh, like a simple leather strap.
Right, but you do realize that if you ever look at an offshore, you look at a Royal Oak, there's just two end pieces that stick out into the strap. You know the two cutouts on your strap?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever considered how you're going to put that on your watch, considering that you need the end pieces?
Well, here's the thing. I did not, because I didn't realize that that's the case.
So remember a few years back when you decided to trade an offshore for a Rolex for your partner, and I told you you're an idiot, you should have called me first?
Yeah?
Yeah, this is one of those situations. I see no reason to go through the ropes of converting it, putting it on something that doesn't belong to, just because you're afraid you're going to ding up your bracelet. I would leave it the hell alone.
Alright.
And if you can return that strap, return it. Eric, you're the best. I love you, bro. I will talk to you later.
Alright, man. Thanks.
Bye.
Yo, do we have any black GMTs in stock or any incoming?
Black GMTs, no, but we have Batmans.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
That's not gonna help.
So originally I started at Luxury Bazaar in a marketing role. We were doing social media advertising, social media marketing. I was also covering a lot of our online platforms such as eBay, First Dibs, Instagram DM sales, live chat, any website inquiries. There's a lot more than just, I guess you could say, Instagram and YouTube sales that are coming in.
So I have a guy looking for a 116710, which we don't have. He says, getting married in October, this will be my first watch, time to upgrade from the Fitbit. Definitely. That's awesome, first and foremost. I sound like Roman, I don't want to do that. That's awesome, congratulations on the marriage. Definitely want to help you find something nice. Currently, we don't have a black GMT in stock. We do have some Batmans if you're interested. However, I'll see about sourcing a 116710 for you and get back to you with pricing and availability. This is Alex.
Adrian? Corey.
Nice to meet you, man. Yeah.
So this is Corey, by the way. This is Corey, right?
Yeah.
So that morning I had a fan turned client that came to visit me. A guy works for the Sheriff's Department, has been in the force for quite a few years, he's actually a sergeant now. He called me up, he's like, listen, I'm having a couple of issues with my watches, I wanted to get them serviced. I said, you know, why don't you just come up here? Let's sit down and shoot the I'd love to meet you in person.
By the way, your sticker that you sent me, I put the right in the back of my car. I have seen police come up behind me, and I was speeding, and they're just like, whoop, and they're cool.
Corey gave me a sticker, Sheriff's Department sticker. I put it right in the back of my car. It's like a get out of jail free ticket.
Let me see what happened to your watch.
And this is one of my newer purchases. So I saved up. I got the bracelet here too, even though I was wearing it on this. So I put it on the strap. And
When did this happen?
about, I'd say like a week and a half ago.
I hope you didn't wind the watch since then,
I
right?
did, only because I wanted to see if it was going to be losing time or not.
A little bit of an explanation for you. There's a reason why I asked him those questions. Whenever you have crystal damage on a watch, whenever the crystal breaks, it is common but not so common. You can drop your Rolex a multitude of times and it really has to hit just right for the crystal to break. And a tile surface with the right angle is death to any crystal of a watch, even a Rolex. Why did I ask him whether or not he wound the watch or used the watch? Well, here's what happens. The minute a crystal breaks, and here's a hint to all of you guys, you want to take your watch, put it down, and not touch it. Let the power reserve wind down. Don't wind it. Don't allow the watch to work further. Why? Because little particles of glass, the minute that they shatter on the inside of the watch and they get inside those gears, your watch can get ruined and get ruined really, really quickly, which is why the first thing I asked them is not to wind it.
And to my eyes, it didn't look
Doesn't
like
look like anything.
damage to the dial or diamonds removed or nothing like that. Thankfully,
Again,
the
you
bracelet
didn't wear
was...
the watch. It's not like the stuff was bouncing around.
Yeah, it was just one quick boom, and I'm like, oh, please don't be bad. You know what I mean? I took it up. I was like, that's bad.
I like it on the strap, by the way.
Thank you. Well, that's you know what it was is when I go out and I want to kind of, you know, what do they say? The kids
Tone
say
it down?
floss. Yeah. Because I was just like you. The funniest thing is when I saw your video and you said the first time, like a couple years into my collecting, when I finally was able to afford a Datejust. And I didn't know modern Datejust, I didn't know old Datejust, I didn't know precious metal Datejust. I wanted a Rolex. And I got actually a vintage Datejust, a 1603, which would know nothing about vintage at the time, right? When I put that on, and I'm not even like a flashy person, but just like I made it a point where every day I was open doors, this and that. I'm like, oh yeah, like just like. And when you said that, I was like, it's just this.
No,
Yeah.
the joke is this, that, you know, my Rolex will meet you first. Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
You know, what's this?
Hopefully, this is the one that I bought that you actually.
Oh, the
featured in
Jaeger.
your videos,
Yeah.
yeah. And that needs a little bit of work too. From
What's wrong with
bashing
it?
around. Well, it was keeping dead on time, which I normally don't
Okay.
mind. If you look at the top right around, like I'd say 3 o'clock, the crystal is slightly raised. The crystal kind of slightly came apart. It's not under warranty anymore. That was the first watch I ever bought brand new.
So I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with the crystal here. Is it, you talking? Oh, I see it.
You see, it's
I
just
see it.
slightly raised.
I think it just needs to be reset.
The second issue he had with a watch was with his Jaeger. That's actually a Jaeger that he submitted a video with on my Real Watches, Real People, Real Stories. And the issue there was you had the crystal lump side. It was sticking up on one side and it was sunken on the other. Again, something that usually happens if you hit the watch really hard or drop it. It's an easy and quick fix. You take the watch apart, take the crystal out, replace the gasket, and put the crystal back in. Not as bad as the Rolex.
I'll have my guy reset this crystal and see if there's a seal and something's wrong with the seal there, because I see exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This is not good. Like, you don't want this to, because eventually what's going to happen is it'll pop out.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I noticed. So I kind of started not wearing it as much. I was like, I got to get it taken care of.
You know what's funny? It's been a long time since I've seen something like this. And usually, and you're saying it wasn't like this.
I hit it a bunch of times and never noticed it. Now, it could have been that it was just so slight. Like, I'm normally terrible.
Because
Like,
usually
I'm
something like this is a watchmaker setting the crystal bad after service. So
But in
I don't know how
conjunction with knowing that it started losing some time when it wasn't, that was the only thing that kind of, and I don't know if it got magnetized too maybe or what, but
that's weird. It's no issue. We'll fix this.
Well, I love it when people like Corey come to the office. Real people with real stories and real watches, pun intended, right? We talked a bit more. I gave him one of the books that I wrote the preface for. He brought me some more police badges, which I added to my collection. But overall, it's a nice break from the norm and the craziness. But it's just a nice change of pace, and it's really, really nice, once again, to be face-to-face with your client. So while I was on the phone, Nico called me. I had to return his call because with that guy, you never know what's in store. I saw your beautiful review of Costa Vanilla iced coffee in a can, something or other. Very professional. You started off so nice. You're like, oh, reviewing this Costa Vanilla something or other, and this is just one of those things, and it's so
It is horrible, mate. I literally, like, I paid money for that, like.
I actually, look, they have a lot of their chains are like in the Middle East and stuff, so whenever I land in Dubai, that's the first thing I go for. Are you trying to show off your 5712 there? Is that what you're trying? On a bracelet? You put that on a bracelet, nice. I mean, if you want to flex, I can flex. About one of these. Tell me what that is.
Gothic. It's so gothic. It's like the writing as well. It's like, bah.
The slang that they use, what is Gothic? Gothic here means something completely different. I didn't know. Was it a compliment or what? I like the look. But anyway, you called me. Tell me, please.
No, I just wanted to say, great video.
Thank you.
I'm gonna share that as well. Funny bit, the last bit that you put us that conversation in, that was quite funny, and I really like how you do that. So fair play. And this is Steve. Steve went through the Breitling list.
What's up, man? How are you?
Good. He went through the Breitling list.
Okay, so what do we need? One of the phone calls we had last with Nico, where we just were shooting the he briefly mentioned that he needed 25 pieces for a deal that he was doing, something in a price range. So I quickly offered him a list of Breitlings that I have, and lo and behold, the conversation that started off of absolutely nothing turned into an opportunity. Okay, so on the Breitlings, I told you what you need to do. You simply need to send me back the spreadsheet that I sent you, highlight what you want, put a quantity on there. I'll put it together and send you a bill. You just let me know how to get it to you, and that's all.
Done.
All right, and then you can pay me when they pay you, and that's it. You said they pay you fast, so you don't have to put money out.
I had a meeting there earlier with Houdinki.
Oh, okay. Houdinki is not up your alley. They're so refined, and I just don't know how the two of you can go together. It'd be like night and day. It's like apples and oranges. Hodinkee and Nico. Would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that room.
What are they doing? They're like from an information platform to an authorized dealer.
We were discussing how Hodinkee and many other big-time blog posts out there, respected blog posts out there, work with the companies directly, authorized dealers and things like that, and not the gray market dealers.
The ultimate goal at some point, they were all at crossroads. They said, well, who do we go with? Who's going to pay us the money? Is it going to be the gray dealers, or is that we're going to advertise, or is it going to be the brands? And obviously, the brands is where the money is. And once they made a name for themselves, now they find themselves in a funny position where, like, well, we would love to talk to a Nico, we would love to talk to a Rowan, but now that conflicts with our relationships with the authorized dealers, much like some of the other magazines right out there.
Yeah, now comes the thing, right? Because during this conversation, the word gray market was known as, we're gray markets, more cowboyish.
Mm-hmm.
But now comes the thing. We deliver a better experience in every way possible to our clients than
depending on
an experience. I'm not talking about a better suit or a tie. I'm talking about passion, knowledge. Like, I mean, go to an authorized a Rolex dealer, ask about a specific question about a movement.
I agree. As far as knowledge, I agree. But as far as experience is concerned, you know what it is? It's, when somebody walks into a Louis Vuitton, it's the aura about being there. It's the aura about shopping in that boutique and walking out with that shopping bag, right? I just walked out of a Gucci with that Gucci shopping bag. But
we created that with Pride and Pinion. People want to be around us. People want to carry this bag.
For me, it's a little different.
Look at that. That bag. That's a dog's bollocks, like. Special price. If you're kind to me, Roman, I'll let you buy it. Like, look at it. I'll let you.
That is a handsome bag right there. Look, you can go online on Farfetch and a lot of these places, and you can buy the same Gucci stuff that you may see in the stores at a discount. But yet, people want the experience to walk into the Gucci boutique, walk out with that Gucci bag, and flex, if you will. And unfortunately, you walk into a boutique, you're dealing with employees that have no idea. They're just there to sell. And in the market that we're in now, they don't need to know. If somebody walks into a Rolex boutique, they want to buy anything that they'll give them. So what knowledge do you really have to have? And as far as market knowledge, there's zero market knowledge.
I want my customers to come in and be educated.
Yes.
And I have conversations with customers that love watches as much as I do, and have you seen this? And that's what the shop is about. It's about passion above anything else. And our experience in the shop, okay, it's maybe not like the authorized channel is like a really expensive escort, right? Right? Where some of the gray market dealers are like a really beautiful wife. You see what I mean?
It's very hard to stay seriously and focused talking to this guy when he comes up with these kind of analogies.
Yeah, that's a Nico analogy there. I'll leave you with this thing. I'll leave you with this thing. I'm in Hong Kong. I'm wearing a pair of gym shorts, a pair of sneakers. I have a backpack with me, and no camera, nothing. And I had a workout shirt with long sleeves, right? I was at the gym in the morning. I never changed. I walk into a Patek boutique, 15 salespeople on the floor. Not one says hello to me. I gently pull up my sleeve. I'm wearing the Celestial Sky. All of a sudden, one of the guys sees the watch. 5 people converge on me. A lot of these places will judge a book by its cover, much like when you walk into.
And now you need to ask yourself as a customer, do you want to buy a watch through the channels like that, or people that are passionate about it? The fact that we even have this conversation makes me sad, because to give you an idea, and that's how it should be, a customer is not an interruption of our work. A customer is the reason for our work.
Yes.
So someone who is not an interruption. He is the reason.
Speaking of which, I got to call this guy back.
I think it's bonkers. And that is what the authorized channels do.
Look, we can go on about this forever. I gotta go. I have a meeting. I gotta take with my new shipping manager. So yeah, I gotta fill my watches and whiskey today. I gotta fill a couple more things with my guys. So I guess get back to me by tomorrow. We'll get it closed.
Yeah, look at this. Say hi.
What's up, boys?
These guys make me look well. Look, fan mail.
I feel really bad for you because it's very tough to make you look well.
I mean,
you boys, you have a tough job.
Like they're good at their job, like.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
See you later, brother.
Bye.
Bye.
gotta call this guy back. Another client called and asked me if he was getting a good deal on a Richard Mille from one of my competitors, but guys that I actually know, guys I actually do business with. Now, I already knew this guy was getting a good deal, and it was my every intention to call the guy back and tell him, listen, you're getting a good deal, I think you should do the deal. But of course, I told you guys about the 4-eye principle, right? Anytime there's some sort of a deal going on, I always like to run it by Adrian or Anna or one of my business partners. You can never go wrong with getting a second opinion. And last but not least, I told you guys every phone call is an opportunity. So while I was calling him and telling him, yeah, you're getting a smoking deal, this is not a deal I can come close to. I think you're getting a good deal on your trades. I think you're getting a good deal on the watch. I still ended up buying a watch from him. Bottom line is, it's a shame we sold that on 11.
Hey, boss.
Hey, so I did the math.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I did it with the camo. I think you're getting a good deal. They're telling you 74.5. I think you're getting.
Well, if I give them, yeah, it's 2. So let me tell you. I got it right here. Let me tell you. I have it on text. Hold on. So green GMT 39. Okay, which I paid 41. I'm not gonna argue. I mean, whatever.
39,000 for a green GMT.
Okay.
Can you take that out of the deal and sell it to us for more?
I want to say it's 2018 boxing papers, 2017 boxing papers, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, everything I have, by the way, guys, I always have boxing papers, and they're always mint. I don't these things. Sky Rose Gold, I got it from. I think I paid 52. He's giving me 51.5. All Rose Gold Sky with rodeo. All right. The AP Summer, he's going to give me 65. I love that watch. I paid 63. I got it from him. So he's going to give me 65, which is fine. It's gone up a little bit. If you look at, I don't know if you believe Chrono, who knows, but it's gone up a little bit. Good watch. That hurts. I like that watch. And then if I do a watch for 45, any watch, I mean, that's, if we just threw in a number of 45, then out of pocket, it's, hold on. Out of pocket, it is 74 or 500, I want to say. He's telling me to watch for 275.
It doesn't add up. Hold on, Adrian, do 275. Hold on, do 275.
275. Do 275 minus, Roman, do 275 minus 39.
Okay.
Minus 51.5.
Okay.
Minus 45,000.
Okay.
And minus 65,000.
I think he's paying strong for the summer.
I'm just curious how you entered the deal. What did they tell you the RM11 Rose cost?
275.
275.
So here's what happened, Adrian. So we started with the green one, which I did not like. The green, the green one.
The Le Mans. Yeah, the Le Mans.
Yeah, it looks like a plastic toy. So I was like, no. And then I thought about it, and that was like I want to say that was 265. They said, look what I got. I got this one. He said, with this. The band, I have a black band for it, but he didn't want to take the red band off. And I'm like, no, you're not taking the red band off. And how much? So 275, and 2016 boxing papers has now been serviced. So,
I mean, honestly, I think you're getting a
great deal.
I think you're getting a great deal because I think they're strong on the summer, right? Like the GMT, I'd probably pay you a little more for it if I were just to pull it out and buy it. What would we pay for the GMT?
Today, 42,000.
I would pay 42 for the 2,000, but they're paying you strong on the summer, so it's irrelevant. So I think.
You want the GMT? I don't give it. He doesn't. I don't give.
Yeah, I'll take the GMT.
I'll take the GMT for 42,000.
42?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'll do. Well, I owe you money, so.
Yeah.
Roman, you have a call, 701, John. Roman, John,
I
701.
love this like Walmart. There.
Hold on 1 second. Our loudspeaker and our girl Carol downstairs, she loves using the loudspeaker, and it's loud, it's interruptive, but still the best way to get a hold of me because I'm running around the office all day. Carol, I'll be right with him. Carol. Sorry.
So tell you what, I'll bring you the GMT box papers and everything on Tuesday. Just bring me the Zeitwerk and the difference.
Yeah, I will. I'll bring you the Zeitwerk, the difference, and I'll bring you a love bracelet too. I'll figure it out. But as far
Subtract everything. That's fine. Yeah.
and so with that said, other than that, I think that you're getting a good deal from those guys, and I think you should take it.
Yeah.
Well, all right, guys, you're very honest. What do you think? Where do you think these watches are going? I mean, is it going to keep going? Nobody knows, right?
I'll say one thing. I've had this conversation on multiple occasions over the past, I don't know now, 7-8 years about Richard Mille. And I will say one thing and one thing only. This bubble will not burst.
All right.
Okay. Look, it's one of those things. Every single time that I've sold a Richard Mille, not even as of lately, as of within the past couple of years, I cannot buy it back for that price.
Do that
It is.
before.
It's the hottest brand on the market, and they make 3,000 watches a year for the elite of the elite. It is. They make it damn near impossible to walk in there and buy any watch you like.
Well, here's what I'd like to do. I appreciate that, Adrian. Thank you. What I'd like to do is, since you guys supply all these guys, I'd rather go right to the source. So what I'll do is, I have too many people, so I want to narrow it down. I buy from 3 or 4 different guys. I buy from Salt. I love him. But if we could do. Let's meet Tuesday. We'll figure out the relationship going forward. But
Sure.
I love AP, so we'll have no problem. I'll bring the watch to you guys.
Sure.
Okay?
Awesome.
I'll see you Tuesday.
All right.
Thanks,
You got
guys.
it.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
So that coming up Friday, we had the second live stream of Market Update with myself, Anthony and Marco, Adrian, Nico, Watch Eric, and Vadim from Motor Groups. I already knew that I was going to show the 5207. I was just hoping that it wouldn't get sold prior to Friday. And at the same token, thought about bringing in a cool special vintage piece. You guys have seen Adam Golden from Menta Watches numerous times on my videos. He's a guy I go to for all things vintage, and I partner a lot of things with him. So I called him up and asked him, hey, which watch can we show?
Yo. All right, so this Friday we're doing a live show with the boys, Nico, Anthony.
Before you get to quick housekeeping matters, can you number one ask Anna to find that 6002 whatever Patek that we need for that client, that like 100K ladies watch? Because like he texted me this morning, like the guy wants to buy.
It's like the doggy dog of all watches. If you ever have one, you can never sell it, and when you need one, it's.
Show me some other watches that like are similar that we could offer.
Listen, I'd rather see him buy like my lady's Nautilus in white gold.
But like we can tell a client what he wants to buy. We can only steer him in the right direction.
I mean, listen, my rule of thumb is this: is I always say, first you offer what they actually want, and then you can give advice on others, kind of thing.
I hate when my salespeople do that. Oftentimes, people would inquire about a particular watch, right? And I caught myself doing that a couple times early on, and I vowed never to do that again. Somebody will call and say, hey, I won't watch XYZ, and I happen to have a watch ABC that's somewhat similar, but it's not what the client wants. At the very least, what I'd like to do is offer a client exactly what they're looking for, whether I have it or not, or I can get it. And then at the same token, see if they're open to other options, offer those other options.
Is it possible, like if I ordered it, would he wait?
Yes.
Okay, I'll talk to Anna.
You guys had one on your site, but Anna said it just sold. I need a 15400 blue dial for a client.
Literally just sold. Literally just sold. Can it be new or used?
Can be used.
Okay. Will he pay all the money for a 15202 blue dial? Because I have that.
I don't think so. I can try.
Yeah, because that's like 80 plus now. It's insane.
Double what he knows he's going to be paying for a 5400.
Anyway, so this Friday we're doing our second live show with Anthony, Eric, and all those guys. Which, by the way, once you get your YouTube channel up, you'll be joining as well. I hope.
Recording for it. Started recording today.
All right, good. So with that said, so one of the topics of the show is you watches, right? I'm showing off a 5207 minute repeater tourbillon perpetual calendar Patek. That's on the modern end. But because we do vintage, especially me and you, you know what I mean? Yeah, think about it. But with that said, I did want to show something vintage. Now, the big Patek, the 7-figure Patek, I don't want to show the world. What are your thoughts on the NOS GMT that we have?
Same thing. We're working a deal on it, so like I don't want to expose our watch when we're in the middle of negotiating with the buyer, and then.
Well, I don't know if we want to expose it. Period.
There are lots of watches that we have that you guys don't get to see. You don't get to see it on Instagram. You don't get to see it on YouTube. You don't get to hear about it. And it usually happens in the higher end stuff and with stuff that's more rare. A watch has to be fresh to market. It cannot be a known watch. It has to be something very special. And the minute you put the watch out there, you get 100 dealers that call you that start whoring the watch around. All of a sudden, 100 different people see the watch. Odds are your client gets that watch shown by a third party, and they tend to lose consumer confidence thinking there's all this availability on these watches when in reality there's only one on the market.
Understand, with vintage watches, and we've discussed this before, but we'll talk about it again real quick. With vintage, it's very much cloak and dagger. Sometimes people want privacy and they don't want other people knowing how much they spent on a watch. And if it's a one-of-one kind of watch and you put a price out there for everybody to see it, everybody knows what they spent. So kind of when you massage it and offer it to them privately and no one really knows about it.
Not to mention the amount of asshole vintage dealers out there that are going to try to kill your watch because they want to sell them something else. Anyway,
exactly. A lot of backstabbing.
How about what is it? How about the what do you call it that we have the POW watch?
It's on my wrist.
Oh no! You know, people are gonna watch this. Are gonna think that this is set up. The watch is on your wrist. I mean, look, the POW watch is a good one. I mean, it's $250,000 watch. It's expensive, but it's rare. But they made it what for 6 years?
Yeah, I think in terms of a watch, it's like a subtle flex. Like it's like one of those if you know, you know. So I think it could be a good choice for you if you want me to send it up for your show. Like it's cool because it's super rare. They only made this watch in the 40s.
Actually, I think it'll work because the following Tuesday I have a client coming in to look at the Conjar Daytona I have. I'll show him that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's in terms of a watch. Like, dude, these were sold to literal prisoners of war. That's why they call it the POW watch.
Yeah.
During World War II.
You don't have to give me the lesson. I know a couple of things.
Like owning a watch that was sold to a prisoner of war. You know.
How much? Do you know how much they were originally? $200.
$300 from the canteen.
And what's the highest comp on them right now?
There was recently a salmon dial one that sold for over 300. There was a black one like this with some provenance that sold for over 300 a few years ago. I think there was one that broke 400 at Phillips. I could go back and check.
No, it doesn't matter. So I mean, if I am, do you want me to announce a price? Should we announce a price on the show? Would $250,000 be safe to say?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's a little bit of room there.
Again, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Do we want to give out that information on this watch? Because I don't know. Does anybody else in the market have this one besides us? Adam? We lost Adam. Adam, come back.
Talk about customers, right? So we are on WhatsApp, FaceTime. Whenever a normal phone call comes in, it usually shuts off the other phone call. Of course, Adam got a phone call from a client, blatantly clicked over. But as dealers, we get that. I know the fact that he did that is simply because he got another call and most likely it was a client and he can always come back to me.
What are we doing with this? Did you input the sell?
No, I'm doing it right now.
Okay, so I'll give you this. Did you sell this perpetual or no?
Working on it.
Okay. And
communication. As I've stressed this throughout the sales department my entire career. So fast-paced, so many moving parts, so many watches coming in, so many watches going out. The worst thing you ever want to do is oversell an item. We literally have instantaneous WhatsApp groups between everybody that does sales in the company to tell, hey, watches on hold or watches sold. Because at the end of the day, the last thing you want to do is sell a client a watch and say, oh yeah, your watch is on the way to you. Hang up the phone and then find out another salesperson just sold that watch and start scrambling.
I'm glad we're on the same page. What's your question?
What is my question? Can we get him paid?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up, Alex?
There's a guy on 701 who wants to speak to you.
What's his name?
He's just like a fan.
But you don't have a name. That's why you're not a good secretary, huh? I'll be right with him.
Then 701. Luxury dessert.
That's a good secretary.
What is it?
AP.
You have no idea how many times Anna has saved my ass when it comes to phone calls. Anna's been my lifesaver for 15 plus years at this point. And notice I called her a secretary. My sales manager, Anna, started with me as a secretary 15 years ago.
Michael, you ready to go to Watchbox?
Yeah.
Are you ready to go?
Yes, Russian is a second language in this office, so sometimes I have to translate. But at that point, even though I do understand Russian, I had no idea what the hell he said. All I was trying to do is send him to Watchbox with a few pieces that I sold him.
Just, can you come to my office? This fucking guy.
Michael is our driver. He came to us as a part-time worker. Anytime we needed to run something over to New York, anytime we needed to run something over somewhere via car or a courier, Michael was our guy. He is a hell of a character, and I'm sure you'll be seeing some of him in some of the later videos, and you'll see why I meant that. But as a driver, he is an excellent driver.
It's a beautiful outfit right there, Michael. That is a beautiful outfit right there. All right, so you need to take these two. That's the stuff for it over there. These two. This watch has box and papers. Have Natalie pull it and take it together. All these 4 watches. All right?
Okay, 4 watches and
that's the box and papers for these 2.
Oh, everything.
Everything.
Okay.
Thank you. America loves you. Let's see what that looks like.
I'll be back for the.
Ian, am I stupid or what am I doing wrong? It's a push. A push.
Hey, what's up?
Can you come here, please?
Yeah.
One of those Rolexes, the 36, that's sold to Andre. That's actually a really pretty watch, by the way.
Yeah, it looks good.
I have some good news and I have some bad news.
What's the bad news?
Bad news is you didn't sell the Richard Mille. And I don't think I'm going to put that entirely on you, considering that, Adrian flipped it over like an hour after I gave it to you.
No, it was like 30 minutes.
30 minutes,
Yeah.
okay.
So as much as I would love to give a kid a chance to sell the Richard Mille, and by all means I want him to have the commission, I had a client that hit me up, made an offer on it, couldn't resist, so had to sell it to him.
So yeah, Adrian sold that in 30 minutes. It's cool with me. We're all a team here, so I'm never gonna get upset if Adrian or Anna or Roman or anyone really sells a watch. There's no selling a watch from under anyone. We're all a team here.
I can give you a different goal.
What's up?
Go out and buy a Richard Mille this month. All right, so nobody said here that you have to make any hard sales, right? I said you have to facilitate sales. And
Right.
a lot of the things on your commission sheet are going to be give me's, and we're going to continue giving you those give me's. 15 years later, I give Anna her give me's. Your commission for this month was $5,392.
Sounds about right.
Mr. Excitement. Alex is so even key and so quiet. It's like the kid just doesn't show any emotion. I know he was excited. I'd be jumping up in my chair. I didn't make $5,000 when I first started in this business my first month.
Honestly, I think you did better than I expected. But if you notice, we made sure of that. And that's the whole point of this. I don't want to throw anybody to wind.
Another Romanism, throwing to the wind. Still don't really understand what that means.
I like the fact that you're catching up quick, you're finding ways, and you're being proactive. You're not just waiting for inquiries to be thrown to you. Half the stuff you went out on your own. You're monitoring chats. You're throwing numbers out there. You're helping Anthony and those guys and Nico and so on and so forth. We have 500 Anthonys and 500 Nicos, right? Well, I shouldn't say that. Nico's unique and so is Anthony, but in the sense that, remember, we used to be mainly a wholesale company, but we are switching towards retail. So your main goal is, considering the fact that we're at 60% plus of return clientele here, that's where you're going to always make your money. So staying in your client's face is the easiest thing to do. Once in a blue moon, you reach out to your clients and you say, hey, I'm here. That's it. That's all you need to say. You're not offering anything. You're not wanting to buy anything. You're simply telling them that I'm here, and that's going to make you successful going forward.
Right.
I'm going to give you a little comparison real quick, right? I'm not going to tell you how much Anna made. I'm not going to tell you how much Adrian made, but I am going to tell you a couple of sales figures, ready? My gross for the month is $505,000. It's been 3 days. But to be fair, I tend to deal with bigger stuff. So numbers can be a little bit
misleading.
Misleading. Thank you. Appreciate that. I probably can't even spell it.
It's pretty easy to spell.
So last month I got you at 385, right? Anna's last month gross sales were 2.4 million. Adrian's last month gross sales were 3.3 million and change. And this is, mind you, Adrian is not even a salesperson. He's a buyer. I'm not looking for you to be an expert right out of the gate. I do think you should start reading up. You should know what an annual calendar does. You should know the difference between an annual calendar and a perpetual calendar or a Quantine perpetual calendar. I've always said, I just got off the phone with Nico. We had this conversation. Knowledge, it's not selling, it's educating. Education and knowledge will always sell.
Yeah.
You will eventually become that guy by handling the stuff, but you got to give yourself a head start. Say less. If you don't know, don't make it up. That's all I'll ever tell you.
Yeah.
Another thing, if you notice that this month, the easiest thing was to do is to go in a chat and wholesale something. Our goal is not to wholesale. Our goal is to a retail client.
Here's a young kid. He may or may have not understood what I actually tried to explain to him here, but I feel it's important for my salespeople to understand the core values of the company, the core goals, and why it is I'm telling him, hey, don't wholesale, I'd rather you retail.
Let's say that an average client, and I look at them and I average out how much that each individual has spent with me over the last 5 years, I know what my average worth of a client is in terms of revenue and in terms of profits, right? Which is why I say, sometimes I'm better off selling that Rolex or that watch that I just said for $10,000 for $9,800 to a retail customer versus selling it for $9,800 to a dealer for a quick profit and quick flip. Because the average worth of a client here is X, and it's a lot higher than that $10,000.
Right.
Plus, last year we decided that we're going to stop, scale down wholesale as much as possible and stick with retail.
Right, yeah.
So you see where I'm going with this. So this month's goal for you is to continue doing exactly what you're doing.
Of course.
That's it. Good job. I'm going to speak with Tanya in regards to how she's going to recut your pay. So do you remember what your paycheck was every 2 weeks? No.
Yeah, it was about like 12, 13.
So you almost tripled your pay this month.
Right.
You happy?
Yeah, I'm happy. I don't look happy because I don't show emotions too well.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But
especially when we were doing the video last week. It doesn't really matter. But remember one thing that I told you, and this is most important. Whatever happened last month didn't happen. The hustle doesn't stop.
No, I know. That's
All right.
I've been living my life like that for.
And that's good because even though with everything else I do around here, I still managed to bring in a decent amount of revenue, and I want you to do the same. All right?
Of course.
Good job.
Appreciate it. Have you read the comments about me, by the way?
Where?
On YouTube.
No, I didn't. What did they say?
People don't like me, man.
Yeah, good.
Internet is so brutal. This young kid, I was about to make a sales person, give him the great news. I walk into my office and said, I'm taking away your salary. And no wonder this kid forgot what his paycheck was. He probably forgot what his name was at that very moment.
I caught you off guard that day. I literally walked you into my office and said, I'm taking away your salary. That was the first thing I said to you. So you just don't show that reaction. You were just like, you were mumbling a little bit, but...
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, okay. Like, you know, what am I going to do? It's like, jump up and down.
Go sell something.
All right. Thanks, Rom.
Next.
Sometimes it's just back to back to back to back meetings. It literally is next and next and next. And that's what I get for having an open door policy.
So Natalie is here for over a month. I think that she's doing a very good job. There are obviously some challenges that we're trying to resolve.
So a month ago, we hired a new logistics manager. Logistics are probably one of the most hardest things in a business. You think, oh, it's shipping, right? Oh, it's not just shipping. Logistics in a company such as mine are insanely, insanely difficult.
Let's talk about shipping and receiving. The process of receiving. Now, one of the things we said that when you get hired, you're going to figure out how the processes work, and then you're going to put your own twist on it and make them better. Is there anything in specifically receiving that you have problem with or want to change?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. What about the shipping?
Okay, can I start?
Yes.
So regarding shipping, I did not work with Ilya yet because I don't have time, I'll be honest with you, because I work with Shayla and Regina. So I would like to figure out problem in safe with inventory first because I think it's main
That's most
main
important.
problem.
I agree,
It's
100%.
main problem.
So basically Natalie left shipping, for the last.
But Eli's got it handled. There was
He's
really
good.
not a lot of big issues. The only thing we need to turn over to her is the money's aspect so she can review on a monthly basis the bills and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
My job is to figure out what problems are you having. Like, are you having any problems or are you just slowly but surely getting into it?
Nothing for now. Everything is good.
Everything is good. So do we
Life is good.
Everything is good.
Can we go down there and I want to take a look at the warehouse real quick and I want to take a look at the boxes and stuff.
This girl had to manage shipping, receiving. When it comes to shipping, it's not just shipping. It's various companies that we use. It's armor shipping. It's overseas shipping, which includes import and export. When it comes to receiving, you have to ensure that you receive everything properly. If you receive the watch, hey, where's the box and papers, and so on. Oh, you're going to a show? Well, let me scan out 5,000 items in time, put them in a trunk, all while this stuff is selling on 14 different platforms. At any given time, we can have 100 plus pieces out on repair over 5 different locations. Somebody has to manage that. Inventory is a nightmare.
In terms of space, I know that we got rid of a lot of Calvin Klein and a lot of we did.
Stuff that was on map.
Is there a possibility to get rid of this somehow? Okay, so let's.
And from upstairs as well.
We're going to be able to create more space so we can get rid of the stuff up front and in the lounge.
That's the whole idea.
That's all I want to know. And what about here?
This is Max.
We've met, but thanks. Yeah, your office looks a little bit. I hope you're not claustrophobic.
Trust me.
Now, what about this room? This is just going to be.
Everything will be by numbers, by alphabetical, and by.
I said I was gonna do everything like color coded.
This is like I'm OCD. This is like music to my ears right now. I'm getting excited about it.
Yeah, because
not in any other way, but OCD.
If you like put whatever, like, you know, based on the number, the stock number, web ID, all that, you know, basically it's gonna go into wherever each spot is. That way, all you have to do is, like, let's say, you know, Control F, type in the number, it pops up exactly where it's gonna. You know exactly where it's going to be.
It just needs to be kept up with.
Exactly.
Kudos to Natalie for finding this kid. I like it.
I'll be right there. Actually, I have to talk to you. We lost a retail sales office. Because that warehouse where Max is sitting there used to be a retail sales office. So we lost it because we needed the storage space. So theoretically, we can make this nicer, maybe put away some of this stuff. Now this is beautiful. Vlad, when was the last time you saw a shipping room so clean? This is insane. I like this. I have nothing. I really have nothing to say. So we're good.
Yep. Great.
We have no issues. Issues. No issues. Zero issues whatsoever. Not even with him, because you can be an asshole sometimes. Yeah, that was a joke. Eli's probably like the nicest person I've ever met in my life.
Yo, I have a question.
Yeah.
We ran into a situation. Anthony calls me up.
You have an AP offshore, a Royal Oak offshore Ghost. What's the price?
I think Alice quoted you, no? It's in the chat. Is it not in our chat?
Is it in their chat? Yeah, it's in our. Well,
Hold on, I'll tell.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Anna quoted us at what? On a 31.5. At 31.5, and Alex quoted 32.5. I know, because it's more expensive, right?
Anna,
Yes.
your protege quoted Anthony 32.5 on the Ghost. You quoted Anthony 31. Can we sell it for him for 31.5?
Yes.
Her protege is giving retail prices to dealers.
Oh man.
Put the Ghost on hold. They're gonna get a commitment, and then we'll sell it to them. What Alex did is he exercised the good old rule, like when you're not sure, quote higher. He ended up quoting him about $1,000 higher on the watch that we ended up selling him for $1,000 less because that's what Anna quoted him. But Anthony was understanding and he understood why that happened. I am going to talk to Alex about it to ensure those mistakes don't happen because it makes us look unprofessional.
Yes, Armin.
Can you grab Bobby and come here?
Absolutely.
Thanks. The sales meeting. When I bring in my chief operating officer, I bring in my chief marketing officer, and I bring in my head of sales, Anna. Believe it or not, there's rhyme or reason to what we do around here. We set certain goals. All these numbers come to me via reports, and at the end of every month, I sit down with these guys and say, hey, these were the goals that were set and that were met, and these are the goals that we haven't met. Our business is so dynamic, there are so many moving parts, it can almost make someone's head spin, and oftentimes it spins my head just the same. Here's the issue that we're running into, right? So we have this goal, right? We're going to go from 100 million, we're going to go to 300 million, right? But obviously we're going to take smaller steps.
I thought 500 million.
But we got to take, set big goals, take small steps to get there. It's not realistic in the year's time to go from 100 to 300,000.
Hold on, you know who said that?
I did.
So here's the situation we run into. I set a goal to take this company from $100 million to eventually $300 million. Again, we're not saying that we're going to do this in a year. I'm not going to say we're going to do it in 2. But the issue is that at the same token, we changed up the way we do business. Again, primarily over the last 5-6 years, where we're a wholesale company, 85% wholesale, 15% retail, sometimes even less. But we decided to go full-fledged retail and flip the script. Corona helped. It virtually killed the wholesale business. No trade show, which we used to do up to 20 a year, right? And I said to myself, you know what? I want to do retail. I want to get back to the roots, how this company started, because eventually for me to make my exit, there's no way I'm selling a wholesale company, but I can sell a retail company. We have a big issue because we're kind of working against ourselves. We're trying to get away as much as possible from wholesale and swing that stuff into retail. So what's happening is our profit is going up, but our revenue is actually going down, right? We're making more money selling less.
Here's the problem. To go from a $100 million company to a $300 million company would be so much easier if all we did was wholesale. We want to generate more revenue with an emphasis on retail.
Exactly, but that's not going to make us jump from 100 to 200 this year. I mean, realistically, I would want to finish the year at 125, 130. I think that's feasible.
Yes. So a 20% increase would be.
It's huge.
Phenomenal.
It's huge.
If we continue to do what we've been doing for the last 3 years, we'll be at that 200, 300 million in a couple of years.
We're at 25 million for the first quarter. Out of that 25 million, 8.5 were retail. But the difference in profit margins is about 30%. I mean, we cut out a lot of expenses last year. We cut out $1 million in expenses just from trade shows alone last year.
The problem is that the company can't survive on just retail as of yet.
As of yet, no. But listen, I know I said it was going to happen overnight.
Why can't the company survive on just retail? Well, humongous inventory. To support an inventory of $25 million plus, it takes a lot of dough that needs to keep on spinning. This is going to be a gradual process.
The question is, ultimately, is why would you want to?
Because I'm consistently sitting on $7 to $8 million in receivables from wholesale. Consistently.
Yeah, well, you don't have that with retail, but
zero.
It's the price that you pay for generating such large revenues.
It's constantly a battle between retail and wholesale in this company. Ultimately, it doesn't make a difference where the money comes from as long as it comes in. But the difference between wholesale and retail is that wholesale is a job. Retail is a business. It makes you money while you're sleeping.
Here comes Avi, who's my chief marketing officer. His job is to get my retail operation through the roof, and he's always asking, why not just shut all this stuff down, just wholesale everything and so on and so forth. What he doesn't see the behind the scenes. He sees the numbers. He sees that we sold off 17 million out of the 25 wholesale. What he doesn't see is the accounts payables. What he doesn't see is bad debt expense. What he doesn't calculate is the cost of money and how long it takes me to collect on my receivables, and that big chunk of money that is always owed to me because of wholesale. There have been years where I've had up to $20 million in receivables. I don't want to be there anymore. High risk, it's expensive, and honestly, I'm kind of tired of it.
It's easy, comes and goes. I mean, sure, people owe you money. That's, again, just the cost of doing business.
Let's throw real numbers out there. Month of March, right? 1.147 million profit. Month of April, 1.160. We added an additional salesman. That guy, but believe it or not, he generated $500,000 in revenue. And you know how much you generated in revenue last month? 2.8 million. You know what Adrian did? 3.2, and he's supposed to be the buyer. I'm expecting him to start generating about $1 million a month in sales. That's where you come in. And again, just, be up his ass.
He needs to be up my ass.
One of the things I've always valued about Anna ever since she started with me 15 years ago, I never had to ask Anna anything twice in the 15 years that she has been with me. And her expectations are high, and they are high of Alex. She expects him to do what she does and what she has done in the last 15 years to get to where she is today.
These numbers are all lovely, but the problem is that our web sales, specifically just direct luxury bazaar stuff, is, hold on, let me get to that. Only 15% was website sales. Which is terrible. And I understand that we are competing against ourselves by selling on 20 different platforms. So at which point do we say, are we confident enough in our marketing to say, you know what, everybody else, let's put our on our website first, at least for the first 30 days.
Let's assume there are people on these platforms looking.
Well, hold on a second. You also have, it's fair to say that, we also had $420,000 off of YouTube sales. We had another $100,000 off of social media sales.
We had another 1.6 in direct sales.
And we have 1.6 million in direct sales. Amazon has been, would you say up or down?
So the last month we ran into an issue with Swarovski. That's really driving our sales.
Can I ask you a question? What the am I going to do with the container Swarovski jewelry I have? I have an answer.
What?
Walmart.
What? Or a bonfire.
That would be a big bonfire.
Another downside of dealing with outside platforms, you're not in control. Amazon picks up and decides we can no longer sell Swarovski jewelry on there. We have $600,000 worth of Swarovski jewelry, which is a ton of merchandise. But lo and behold, this is why I have Vlad. Vlad continuously works on finding other platforms and other avenues of revenue. In this case, it's going to be Walmart.
We're sitting on 51,000 pieces, which explains why my ping pong room is occupied. With that said, I'm going to pull first quarter numbers. Alex and Gary in New York today. We'll have the partners meeting maybe tomorrow. And I think there's going to be a fight, as usual.
The partner meetings are wild. I mean, there's screaming, there's yelling, there's cursing. Things are getting thrown. It's a show.
I have two business partners that are from the old school. They're older than me. They have old ways of doing business. They were always in a wholesale business. And it's my job to try to explain to them and convince them that, look, scaling down wholesale is actually a good thing. It's very hard to get through to someone that is used to getting stuff in, selling stuff, getting stuff in, selling stuff, doing big revenue, maybe not the biggest margins, but flipping stuff over and over and over. And it's very hard to change people in their old ways, where I'm literally trying to flip the business upside down and take it into a completely different direction.
I'm going to put those numbers together. I usually put it on my notepad. I'm going to put it in a spreadsheet for you. You'll come back in here. I'll show you all that stuff, and you do the talking. Because every time, I don't want this. Every time it's World War III.
But some of the things that they're saying do make sense. The amount of times that they could rotate that money, makes sense.
Yeah, if they did. What are our wholesale numbers for jewelry versus retail?
I mean, you have
It's
them.
there.
Here, jewelry wholesale. Where's that?
Jewelry wholesale last month, $1.1 million.
What was jewelry retail last month?
558,000.
Yeah. What was? How much money did we make?
27%.
How much money do we make on retail?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I mean, on wholesale. I mean, I don't have the profit on wholesale in there.
I'll give it to you.
Here,
I'll give it to you. Hold on. We did half of what retail did, and what wholesale did, and wholesale only made an extra 50 grand.
The reason we want to concentrate on retail is that if today we stop wholesaling, that money's gone. It's not going to happen on its own. Whereas retail, if we keep buying and putting it up on a website and keep marketing, those sales come in. I told everybody in the beginning that in order to build a retail business, you have to be able to afford to have that inventory just sitting here, waiting for that customer to visit our website, to call us, to email us, and to buy it. It's not as easy as just, calling somebody and saying, hey, I have this, and they buy it from you.
All I'm telling you, and this is what I've been preaching, and I'm beating my head against the wall every time, I need you guys to have my back next week when we have this meeting, because it's going to be World War III again, because I'm going to come in there and I'm going to say, we need to either raise margins.
We should raise margins.
Okay, or we need...
Everything's going up, why not? Why wouldn't we?
It's a good time to raise margins.
Well,
no one will question.
Everybody's raising them on us.
Exactly.
Right.
So wholesale, we either scale it down or raise margins, one or the other.
We see the difference on like.
And nobody owes us money.
I mean,
on
the
wholesale.
argument that they say sometimes somebody has a customer for this Bulgari piece. We don't have a customer for that. That store has a customer. The customer walked in and wants to buy it.
The problem is, again, if we're trying to build a retail business, this takes, because who do we wholesale to? We wholesale mostly to our competition. Well, because when people Google this, we're the ones that come up. Then they go into a store and say, oh, do you have this? That's like, oh, I know these guys. Let me call them. What's my cost on this? Oh, here's a 20% haircut, a 30% haircut. That's the I don't want to happen.
If we are the only source online that has this stuff,
But a lot of the stuff we are.
It makes sense. But that takes a serious commitment.
How about this? Today is what? Wednesday? How about I set this meeting for this Friday? I'll have all the numbers ready for you, and I'll give you enough bullets to get up and speak and say, guys, this is what we need to do. Because we've been going over this for a long ass time. Yeah.
But I think we need to
have a fair balance. Yeah,
Exactly. It needs to be a balance.
You can't discredit the wholesale business in the jewelry.
I'm not discrediting it. I just want to adjust it.
It's one argument. Raise margins.
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah. It's like one sentence.
Can that come from you this time? Because we've had this conversation already.
Yeah. Sure, but they're going to look at me and say, you.
No. You're going to show them the numbers that we're going to come up with together, and they're going to have not going to have a choice.
Just an example. With everyone that we working with, we steadily been, since our cost increasing, we've been increasing margin.
You're talking about the other platforms.
Exactly. So because it makes sense, it increases over time. So this needs to happen. The same thing needs to happen with the wholesale. That's all.
All right, that's fine.
Let's give it a try.
Guys, as you saw in this episode, it's you, the customer, that makes us a success. And you have challenges along the way, especially when you have two business partners that come from a wholesale set of mind. But again, the average worth of a client over time is worth a lot more than a quick flip. Tune in next week, see what happens, and there's a couple of other exciting things in store for you as well. I can tell you all day long that all day long. Are you
farting? No. What else? I thought we were in the watch, but he bleeps out, right? Yeah.
I find myself on a toilet. I often find my... and only off...
Take it from the top?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been getting calls left and right. Like, people are like, did you sell the RM? Did you sell the RM?
That would...
I'm like, stay tuned to the next episode.
You got it, brother. Thank you. Anna, put the 15202 on hold for Marvin.
Sold.
What do you mean it's sold?